In this video, we are going to talk about the idea or the secret behind solving a differential or maybe a differentiation, right? So differentiation by what a chain rule. Okay, so the meaning of the chain rule is the most important thing, right? This is just a name. This is the question that we are going to use to demonstrate that, right? This is one of the questions, so make sure that you stay here to the end of the video. Now, if you have something that goes like the y is equal to 2x exponent 3 plus or 2x squared and plus 1, everything raised to the power 5, right? So this is what we are going to differentiate. Now, the key here is that we must have the idea on how to differentiate something like this, right? So this is what we are calling, well, maybe this can be a polynomial function, right? That's the technical name here. So to find, if you don't know what the meaning of the differentiation, maybe consider checking our playlist. I will leave a link in the description, right? So make sure that you check that for simple understanding of what differentiation what means. Okay, here we are having this function to be equal to 2x squared, right? So we want to find the derivative. Also, we want to differentiate this function. So the idea here is that this exponent here has to drop down, right? So it is a lay down formula, right? So it's a lay down procedure. So the exponent here has to come back. I'm using this board marker to write on the board. Why is it that I'm not using any different product, right? So that is the lay down procedure. So the lay down procedure of solving this thing here is that the 2 here has to drop down, come and multiply whatever is here, right? So you're having 2 multiplied by the 2, and then you subtract 1 from the exponent. So that is how we differentiate this type of a fraction, right? So this is a function, this is a polynomial function. This is how we differentiate this thing, and then when you are done, you multiply it and then move on. So we are going to have 4x, right? Okay, perfect. Now with this idea here, we can easily proceed and come and solve something like this. So the key here is that what happens if you replace everything in this bracket here by, let's say, a, right? So we are replacing everything in the bracket here. By why are we doing that? We are doing that because we know how to differentiate something that goes like this. So meaning that this function here tends to be something like y equal to a exponent of 5, right? So perfect. Is that okay? Since we know how to differentiate, how do you differentiate? We know that the 5 has to drop down. So we are going to have 5a and then subtract 1 from the exponent. So we are left with 4, right? So this is what I'm doing here, right? So this is what I'm doing, and then we are done. Then we come and differentiate whatever is in the bracket here separately. Obviously, two things being combined together. Since they combine everything together, we are also going to differentiate it so separately, right? So okay, perfect. So how do you differentiate the one in the bracket here? So the idea of differentiate the one in the bracket here, we know how to do that, right? So this 3 has to drop down. So this one multiplied by that will give us a 6 here, and then subtract 1 from the exponent, give us a 2, right? Plus 1. So there tends to be what, 4, and then you subtract 1 from the exponent here, meaning what, 1 here. So we have a 4x, and then you have to know that you will differentiate a constant. What I mean by a constant, a number without a variable is going to be 0, right? Once again, there's a video on this, and try and check that. So that is the law here. If I'm differentiating, you don't contain any of the variable, you become 0. Okay, so once you have the 0, we are the one who introduce this type of the a here. So where is the a coming from? So a is coming from we are replacing the a by everything inside the bracket, right? So once we are done, we come back and come and put our a there. So here means that we have 5 multiplied by the a, whereby our a was everything inside the bracket. So put everything there as it is, and then raise to the power of 4, right? So raise to the power of 4, and then multiply by anything that is here, right? So the key or the step here is that you just need to understand how to do this type of differentiation. So the method that we are using here, that is what we are calling what chain rule, right? So that is what we are calling what the chain rule. Now let's go by the alternative, right? So how to do that mathematically. So let's see how to do that. Okay, this is what we are calling the chain rule, right? So the idea, the method here is to use the chain rule to solve this type of problem, right? You can only use that chain rule here if you have two functions being combined, right? You can see that there are two people here, and then raised to another power. Everything is one function, then all raised to another power is also another function. That is why we are applying the chain rule. The idea of solving differentiation is to know what to use, when to use it, and how to use it, right? So that is the key here. So the definition here says that if I want to find the derivative of this to the y, the x here, then meaning that is what the y or the u multiplied by the u and or the x. So these are just technical name, right? So I would advise you to know the meaning, which I will demonstrate in just a few seconds. Now, why are we calling all these things the U, the Y, the S, and so on and so forth, right? So here, something like this, we can replace, right? So we can replace everything here. We can replace everything inside the bracket, right? That is 2x minus 3x plus 2x plus 1 equal to U, right? We are just calling this thing U here. What the idea is that we know how to do a general differentiation, right? So here, if you replace that, we are going to have a y to be equal to u raised to the power 5, right? So we are just replacing. Is that okay? So very perfect and simple. So we are calling everything inside here by u. So if I replace the u here, we are going to have u raised to the power 5. Okay, now here we are going to find the derivative of the y with respect to u, right? So here meaning that we are going to differentiate. This is the variable that involves, that is why we are calling it the u, right? So we have two variables here, right? So y and then u. So the y with respect to u. So here is going to be equal to, we know how to do this, and that should be 5 u raised to the power 4, right? Okay, so very simple. Now since we are done with that, what about the one inside, right? So what about the one inside? So we know that we already replaced everything here by what, by u. So meaning that we are going to have here we are calling this on u, right? So we are calling this, so the u with respect to the x here, right? That is the most important thing, right? The u with respect to the x here is what we are going to find out, meaning that we want this function with respect to x, right? So meaning if we are having this is what we have. So from here, how many variables are involved here, right? We have x and what, and a u. That's why we are saying the u, the one outside here alone here, over what, the x. So these are the two variables that are what, involved, right? So we know how to do that. So this guy multiplied by that should give us 6 and then x raised to the power 2, right? Coming from here, so subtract 1 from this side here, and then here too you are having plus 2, right? So to what is happening, remember there's a 2 here, just check that there's a 2 here. So right, so take your time to avoid such a simple mistake, right? So you have 2x. Okay, so meaning that we are subtracting 1 from, of course everything here goes to 0. So now this is what we are having, right? The secret here is just to separate it one by one, then solve it as well, being given to. Now we have this thing here, and then we have this one as well. So meaning that what is the question asking us to find? The y respect to the x, right? So we want to see y and x in what variable. So we are going to combine this and this one together. So having our answer, we have what, 5u raised to the power 4 multiply by, right? There's no any other operation. That's the definition. Remember something like this, right? So multiply by what, this guy here. So this guy here is going to be this, right? So you have 6x squared and then plus 2x. So remember, where from the u is coming from this part, right? So u is coming, we are just going to replace. So you have 5 into bracket 2 x exponent 3 plus 2x squared and then plus 1, right? So everything multiply by whoever is here, that is 6x squared and then plus 2x, right? So this is how simple you solve a chain rule. So we have a more question for you on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you are still here, you have a simple gift for you, so you may try and check that gift out in the description below.
Are you a high school math guru? Do you belong to a high school math club? Or do you know someone special in high school you want to express your gratitude? What about showing appreciation or encouragement to a friend or relative in a form of a gift? Will you soon graduate from high school, then congratulations in advance? What if you guys are in uniform? Great, right? You may check our store in the description below for nice shirts and more. We love you.